50 Days Transformed by Prayer.
When I was really little, I don't really remember how old I was, probably like 3 or 4 or something. I was big enough to stand on the seat of my dad's truck. I remember that. So I remember growing up on a farm, and so we didn't get to town very often. So when I got to go to town with my parents, I remember going into a grocery store with my mom. And we were grocery shopping and getting all the stuff that we needed. And then we got back to the truck, and I remember standing on the seat of my parents' truck, and I was chewing gum. I had a big piece of bubble gum in my mouth, and I was just chewing it. And my mom looked at me. She said, "Andy, where did you get gum?" My eyes got really big. I don't know. While I'm chewing my bubble gum. And my mom was like, "I'm pretty sure I didn't buy you any gum. Where did you get it?" So she fished around in my pockets and she found a pack of gum that had been ripped open and there was a piece missing. So I got marched back into that grocery store, and I will never forget it because I was really young. I had to go back up, talk to the cashier and say, "Sorry, I stole gum." And I will never forget that. It's seared into my memory. And it's something that I still remember to this day, that you have to be honest. You can't take or steal things. And those are really important lessons to remember.
Prayer means everything to me. If I cannot pray about something, then there's got to be a major problem. And if there is, I will ask the Lord to send His angels to help me in that situation. A lot of people know that I'm a registered massage therapist. And I'm still working in my 50th year. And I have patients that come back to me after 30 years of not having a massage from anyone else. But I believe that the secret to it is to having prayer with the Lord before I treat my patients for the day. The Bible study and the prayer means everything to me because it is the success of my ability to treat my patients. And I ask God to use my hands to help this person. And they usually end up out of there as happy as can be and are amazed what has happened. And I credit that all to the Lord.
50 Days Transformed by Prayer.
After Sabbath school, a mom wanted to know if her young son was paying attention to what the teachers were saying. And so she asked him, "What did you learn in Sabbath school today, my son?" The little boy said, "I learned that God's name is Harold." "Harold?" asked his mom. "Who told you God's name was Harold? It says it right there on the Bible. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." The Lord's Prayer is the most well-known and most recited prayer in the Bible. We've been taught this prayer modeled by Jesus since we were little children. According to the Gospel of Luke, while Jesus was closing his personal moment of prayer, he was approached by his disciples and asked a special request. "Lord, teach us to pray." Luke responds to this request, presenting us the model of a prayer, an example of how we should seek God in prayer. The Gospel according to Matthew presents the Lord's Prayer as part of the Sermon on the Mount. After several orientations and warnings regarding the manner and location for prayer, Jesus goes beyond and teaches us a prayer. This prayer shouldn't be merely memorized and recited verbatim, but it should be modeled as a method of prayer. Between the numerous lessons in this prayer model, we cannot help but notice the simple purpose and at the same time the powerful way in which Jesus presents this. If we follow this model of prayer, we should always keep prayer simple, direct, short, and open. This is the perfect model of prayer. Number one, make it short, only 6 small requests or pleas. It is, number 2, Christ-centered. The 3 first pleas are centered in the Lord, seeking to honor God's name, the coming of His kingdom, and the fulfillment of His will. Beyond being short and centered on Christ, the model prayer given by Christ is also comprehensive, being the 3rd point. The next 3 requests focus on our necessities and cry out to God for His provision in our current needs, forgiveness for our past sins, and protection from future temptations. The Lord's Prayer should not merely be recited, but also studied. Based on the words said by Jesus, we conclude that prayer is something to be learned and developed. It is in this that we wish to do with this 50 Days Transformed by Prayer project. In the next 6 days, we will study the model of prayer that was given by Jesus Christ, and we will try to take lessons from it to apply to our prayer lives. In my humble opinion, there are at least 6 prayers in the Lord's Prayer: the prayer of connection, the giving prayer, the trusting prayer, the forgiveness prayer, the prayer of protection, and the prayer of victory. If there is someone who can truly assist us in the spiritual journey through prayer, that person is Jesus. It is because of this that I plead that He may guide you through His model of prayer. Start this journey at this time, declaring the words left by Him to His disciples. Before you pray the Lord's Prayer, alone or with your family, remember that prayer is the key in the hand of faith to unlock heaven's storehouse, where are treasured the boundless resources of His omnipotence.